The sound of the soft and sweet piano whispers in their ears, making the environment romantic as they looked in each other's eyes. Jungkook and Wine came outside for dinner tonight, as Wine insisted him to take her outside and spend the night not just in their room. Wine, everything is so beautiful here. It feels unreal tonight, she says while looking around, adoring the beauty surrounding her. Jungkook, who had his eyes fixated on her, it feels unreal for me every day when I look at you. It always makes me wonder. You must be something unexplainably surreal. The serene environment changed into heaviness and thickness when his gaze moved towards a little right and he finds a man constantly staring at her with seducing eyes from the outside of the hotel. His expressions immediately changing into furiousness. He carries for everyone except Wine, but he wasn't sure, so he decided to not make a fuss in front of her. He simply put his arm around her neck and gently kissed her, assuring her and the others that she is taken. Jungkook, a formidable figure in the world of shadows, leads a life intertwined with danger. Yet, in the quiet corners of his existence, his heart beats for one person, his wife, Wine. Their love story, a delicate dance between light and darkness, unfolds in the moments they steal away from the chaos surrounding. It begins with an ominous whisper in the underworld. A stalker, a shadow that dared to cast itself over the protectiveness Jungkook had built around Wine. He looks at the stalker, and his eyes showing an oppression that he is above all. Showing his raised brows, he felt proud of himself and angry at the stalker. The stalker, after having a dangerous and intense eye contact with Jungkook, moved away from there. Jungkook, taking that stalker as a mere alcoholic stranger who might have his eyes on every girl out there. Considering him such a person, Jungkook forgot about him, as there are countless men like that in the world, and he can't kill everyone. I mean, yes, he can kill everyone if they did something like touching her forcefully. Anyway, it would be such a pleasure to him if the whole world disappeared and only the two of them remained. But instead of that, he rather proves Wine that he is someone she should be proud of. He sat with her again, and they continued their dinner, while being watched by the stalker from the shadows. Unbeknownst to them, he couldn't see them laughing like that together while he has to stay in the shadows. After completing the dinner, Jungkook got up from the chair and offered her a hand so they could walk hand in hand, in sync with each other. Jungkook, where do you want to go now, my lady? He says, his voice a soothing balm. Wine blushes crazily and took a few seconds to think before saying, maybe shopping mall? She says and immediately looks at him for his reaction. Jungkook, as you say, my lady. She slapped on his arm while laughing. They walked together towards the car, for Jungkook drove to the biggest shopping mall of Korea. Vine enters inside, followed by her mouth being wide open, as she adores its beauty and massiveness. Jungkook looks at her reaction, which is enough for him to feel better. Vine, this is so big and beautiful. I wonder how good the pictures will come out if I take them here, she says, her voice filled with excitedness. Jungkook's smile faded away a little as he says, "Didn't you come here for shopping instead of taking pictures?" Vine, I did, but who knew that the background will be such beautiful? Vine, let's select the dresses immediately so I can get some good amount of pictures, she says and starts walking fast ahead of Jungkook. Wait, be careful. But she was already gone. He followed her to the clothes corner and looked at her being all cheery and happy while selecting the clothes. After selecting a red frock, she looked at him for his reaction. Jungkook, go and try it. It does look good. She ran to the changing room and locked it from inside. Jungkook, who usually has his eyes on Vine, takes them away to his phone when a call seemed to appear suddenly. As soon as she wore the dress and was going to go out, someone came from outside and put his hand on her waist. Considering him being Jungkook, she looked at him romantically, but her expressions immediately changed. She was very shocked when she saw her ex so close to him. She was about to scream, but he put his finger on her lips as he said, "Don't try to scream. Think about your husband. How would he feel when I show him these photos?" "How did you come here?" He showed her the photos of them being completely naked and having the fun of their life. And he says, "Do you think he will still look at you the same way like he does now?" The stalker, thinking that he has her in control, felt happy and already started thinking about funny things that he wants to do with Vine. But to his amusement, his expectations went to ruin when Vine screamed suddenly and as loud as she could. He scoffs and takes the stalker's phone from his hand forcefully as he says, "And yes, I'm taking this as a gift of my mercy. If I ever see your face in front of me or her, that will be your last day." Keeping his calm, he wears his coat again and opens the door slightly, just the space which was enough for him to leave the room, and he closed it immediately behind him. As he gets outside, he sees the staff trying to open the door through the master keys. Jungkook, sorry, the court was so good that I couldn't stop myself from shouting from excitedness. Staff member, what were you doing in ladies' changing room in the first place? Jungkook, showing surprise on his face. Oh, is it? No wonder something seemed off. I'm sorry. I will go. He walks to the outside, and the members looked at him, leaving with utmost confusion. The stalker, silenced and defeated, decides to stay quiet and leave when the members are not nearby, as his dignity is in his own hands. Jungkook comes to sit in the car and looks at her, the intense and heartwarming dialogue. He broke it after a minute when he said, "You didn't wait long, right?" "Wine. I want to hug you." She put off her seatbelt and moved close to him. The warm and tight hug they do after something bad happens to them always seems to work, to melt any bad emotion they felt. Jungkook, you mean everything to me, Wine. I can't bear the thought of anyone threatening our peace. She inhales deeply, smiles, and says, "Thank you so much for always trusting me without me having to explain anything. I love you." Jungkook, love you too. Let's go home now, he says, and breaks the hug, starts driving the car. Whereas it took them to the road, they did travel daily, but this time with another tragic incident in their memory, but still unable to move the love they have for each other.